So massive welcome to everybody. My name's Liz Todd. I'm Professor of Education and Inclusion at Newcastle University, and I'm directing this project Voices with Luke Bramhall of Children North East. We'll tell you a bit more about that later. But essentially, it's working with over 1,000 young people across the North East to understand the needs of children and young people aged 5 to 18 living in poverty and through the pandemic. And we're giving this seminar because young people have told us that one of the things they've really missed has been other people and activities that involve other people. And so we want to really get into that and into the real richness of it and the variety of it. And so we've put together with Culture Bridge, with the organisation Culture Bridge Northeast, and a set of presentations from some fantastic people, some really skilled people. I'm also really well aware that a lot of the people, well, all of the people who've turned in today that are tuning in and are part of this presentation today, you also are from very different organisations and parts of the country even, and with different skills and an awful lot to offer. So I think the breakout rooms are going to offer an awful lot today as well. So thank you so much for bringing your expertise along today. So the webinar will present some findings. We'll hear from Culture Bridge. You'll hear from us. We'll hear from the different presenters, and then we're going to have a chance to talk to each other and then to feedback. So I'm going to hand over first. Well, no, I'm not going to hand over to anybody. I'm going to do the share screen and put my own presentation up first of all. Where has it gone? Right, there we go. So can you tell me that you can see my first slide? Is that right? Yeah, great. Okay. So this is what we've got today. So this is the agenda today, which I think everybody knows. And we have a fantastic group of 5 presentations from different organisations, which I'm really looking forward to hearing. And thank you very much indeed, everybody, for giving your time, because I know everybody is just super busy. So first of all, and we're going to do the timing really, really strictly. So I'm going to have to make sure that I time myself very strictly, myself and Luke. But we're doing quite well since we're about 2 minutes ahead of what I thought we would do. So that's not too bad. So we're going to talk about our presentation. So over to you, Luke. You need to tell me to move on the slide as well.
Great, will do. Thanks, Liz, and hello everybody. Wonderful to see you all, or those that I can see at the minute, and I saw you all a minute ago. So and look forward to the conversations as we go through today. For those of you that don't know, my name is Luke Bramhall. I'm the Poverty Proofing and Participation Service Manager at Children North East. And have been fortunate to be working with a fabulous team of brilliant practitioners from Children North East and Newcastle University on the Voices project. So I'm just going to give kind of a bit of an overview where it's come from, why it's important, and hopefully a lot of this, it kind of really just sequentially makes sense. The pandemic hit. We knew that there was going to be a real kind of impact on children and young people, as there would be for everybody. And we had real concern, and by we, sorry, I'm going to use the term we quite a lot. And when I use we, I've got to be really clear. That really is we. That's you know, we have worked really closely across Children North East and Newcastle University. So that's the we. So the pandemic hit. We recognised that there was going to be this impact on children and young people. Particular concern of those that were already living in poverty and those that were newly living in poverty as well. And recognise there was a real importance to understand and respond to the experiences of children through this difficult time. So Liz, are you all right pressing the button? So that's essentially the premise of Voices, is that we wanted to do that. So we were really fortunate to receive some funding, and Liz is going to have to help me on the name of the funder, because I try and do it, and it's a research body, and it's like a
ESRC, Economic and something other Research Council.
Excellent, you did it much better than me, Liz.
Social science.
So we got this funding to deliver this work. Really fortunate, and it was very much because I believe that we were fortunate enough, because right at the heart of what we wanted to do was the voice of those children, young people. We I guess as practitioners, we believe that's the most powerful thing we can do, is listen to the experiences of children and young people. So that's what we've done. We set ourselves the target of speaking to 1,000 children and young people. This particular issue came out right from the beginning, and Liz will talk a little bit about the things that have been coming out. But what we've done is develop a project that allows children and young people between the ages of 5 and 18 to have their voice heard, and we do it through 2 stages. So the first is that we are sending out kind of the basic kind of sheets and asking children and young people to either write or draw about kind of what's been difficult recently, what's been great recently, and what's important to them now. So that's something that we want it to be fully accessible to all. And people could be creative. Children and young people could be creative with their responses. The second part of the consultation and the design was around those really rich and powerful conversations, meaningful conversations, and so the team who were kind of named just on the previous slide have been going out to schools and organizations and hopefully I know some that are here, organizations that are here, and having these just wonderful conversations with children and young people, and I can say that confidently because we have conversations about what's been discussed, and just again, as such powerful information, such a reality check that we get day in, day out through the project. Now, the key thing of this project, though, isn't just about listening to the voices of children and young people, but it is about, it doesn't stop there. It's about responding to that. And this event actually is part of our response to that. But as part of the response, as well as going to professionals and colleagues like yourselves, we're going to be working with children and young people to co-produce comics and videos and other kind of outputs. So this is a part of the journey of voices. It's great to have you here to hear and respond to the voices of children and young people. And we very much, want to, come and get more involved. Today is an event, but we really, there's great opportunities throughout this project and process. We'd love to have you all involved in. So that's kind of the premise, how we're going about our work and what we're doing. Liz, back to you to talk a little bit about what we found so far.
Thank you. So we've listened to about, we've listened to 3 different kind of cohorts of young people so far. Young people up to Christmas, to the first lockdown and going back to school, from Christmas until Easter, which again was another lockdown and another going back to school, and then since Easter. And by the time we get to this summer, we will have listened to 1,000 young people. And this, we're talking about focus group listening. In addition to that, we've had the pictures and drawings and people's writing. And what you're seeing here are the main findings that we had in the very first cohort up to Christmas, but a lot of it is very similar, apart from the very last 2 points. It's very, very similar what we're finding. And what's kind of most interesting about them in a way is that even though they were talking about, say, health and well-being or culture and leisure, it's all about relationships and all about what they're missing. So there's a big theme of yes, there's certain things that they are finding they can do at home, and there's some new time spent exercising, new time that they're taking up new skills, for example. However, they're missing doing many things. They're missing relationships. There's one person said recently to one of our colleagues in the team, family's better, family flows better, which is a lovely comment, I thought. But otherwise, people have been missing their relationships an awful lot. So and we've some lovely drawings, some really beautiful drawings here, and particularly here, I absolutely love this one. The detail in this, let me have my tea first, cooking with my mum and dad. And I just hope there's somebody who's going to help this young person to develop their drawing skills, because I just think it's fab. And this is a slide that's put together by Catherine, thank you, who's part of this call as well, part of the team. Just to show a few of the things that young people have been saying about some of the quotes from young people. So the changes at school is we can't play with friends in different classes, and then things that they've got better at doing, like using the computer, but actually they found that things at school, doing online learning at school, wasn't what they wanted to do. They didn't like doing it in general. And we know that teachers have put an awful lot of effort into some really good activities, but it's really hard for children to do that at home. But interestingly, they did enjoy doing online gaming at home, and some of it did involve interacting with their friends. Positives, like got to see me mum more. Frustration with the messages. We found young people were terribly law abiding and really tried to follow those messages. And there was a lot of anxiety if somebody had a cough. And they were really well aware of things they've all missed out on, like this year 6 student. They've missed out on trips, on assemblies. They've missed out on those kind of rituals. So we've struggled quite a bit as to how to articulate what today is about, because we think it's kind of all the things about interacting with others and extending oneself and having other activities. And we wanted to try and put all of those together. And we're hoping that you might be able to help us make sense of what kind of language we use about it. Before I go on to impact, I'm just going to give you a few of the quotes from the most recent findings from the children and young people that we've just been analysing recently. And so, for example, children and young people have been trying to be healthier, but not sure what they need to do to become healthier, and even getting injuries from new exercises, new outdoor learning skills. But they've been doing kind of things they could do, like hunting rabbits or climbing a tree, but not able to do the organised activities. So there's a real need to provide young people with some of these organised activities, because an awful lot of the activities they've been doing have been really near home. And there's a bit of a danger that, in fact, for all of us, that we'll kind of stay doing all those things near home and actually not doing those things that increase our social capital and our relationships with others. Now, I could go on and on about this forever, but I hope I've given you a flavour of some of the main points. And I'm going to pass on to Luke about impact.
So there's 3 kind of core areas that we highlighted off the back of cohort 1. And I just want to kind of just give a flavour of how we are responding and how we are taking these views of children and young people and experiences into kind of, you know, into a real conversation, to real change. So first of all, there was a lot of young people, children, young people that were concerned, felt very unsafe on public transport, but yet was maybe a requirement that they had to get onto public transport kind of back end of last year. So we got a group of young people together to share their views and those concerns with senior leaders and MDs of the key public transport and bus companies, particularly, but buses was a particular issue. And we're working with them about what that response is, but already are seeing that some of the messaging that's coming out on buses is a direct response to those views of children and young people. So really great response. Secondly, in fact, this week on Thursday, we have a group of young people who are meeting with business leaders. So these are employers. There's a real concern around young people just not knowing, just having that kind of sense of uncertainty and anxiety around future opportunities for employment, and what opportunities are they going to get.
We've got 2 minutes left, Luke.
Yeah, great. So getting a response to that. So that was so we've got the businesses who are going to respond to the concerns that these young people are presenting. Really fascinating. So aren't young people brilliant? They highlighted the fact that, well, we're last to get our vaccination. So who's going to want to employ us? You know, real practical, real things, just brilliant. So as I say, what's really important is that we're taking these views of children and young people, and you can see some of those, you know, some of the impact that we've had already. Today is about impact. Today is about us looking at kind of, you know, learning from each other, but trying to provide those opportunities for children and young people to interact in different ways that's socially distanced, that's acceptable now. Are you right? Moving on slide, Liz. So just wanted to kind of, I guess, in terms of impact, highlight a few things. There are a few things that may help and give a bit more kind of detail into what we found so far. We've got the podcast which is available as on screen. So please do have a look at that. This is an ongoing process. We are going to continue to reflect and to learn from children, young people, and respond. So please keep linked in to the work that we're doing, whether that be through Twitter, through the website, or through the various events that we are going to continue to have. This has been a brilliant project for all sorts of reasons. The ability to work across the region with partners like yourselves has been so incredibly powerful. And I think just from our perspective, we want that to continue. And actually, for us to be able to truly respond to the voice and experiences of children and young people, we need to continue to work together. So thanks for that. And John, I'm really excited about what's coming next, because hearing from colleagues and about the brilliant work that we've already got going on up and down our region is just a great thing. So I hope that you kind of everybody really feels that they can learn something and take something away. And towards the end of today's session, we are going to kind of reflect. What is it that we can, how do we learn from this, and how do we kind of measure that impact? So we'll come back to that conversation later.
Okay, thanks very much indeed, Luke, and me, if I can thank myself. A bit weird. Things you end up saying in these strange Zoom things.